moments in the classroom.
Charlotte.
A 22-year-old armed with a pistol opening fire on the last day of school, killing 2, wounding 4 others before police apprehend him. Now the students who were right there speaking out as the FBI joins the investigation.
Tornado outbreak overnight, at least 25 twisters tearing across the heartland. The incredible video showing the massive funnel clouds up close.
Big tornado coming down!
From Texas to Missouri, now 8 states bracing for flooding.
The Attorney General William Barr about to face off with lawmakers as news breaks of a bombshell letter from Special Counsel Mueller, objecting to how the AG explained the Russia report to the American people. Now Democrats demanding answers.
Crisis in Venezuela, violent clashes erupting in the streets as protesters fight to end President Maduro's regime.
An ABC News exclusive. Beloved Jeopardy host Alex Trebek here live for his first interview since he revealed he's battling pancreatic cancer. What he's saying about his health, his future, and what about the current champ on that incredible winning streak? Alex Trebek, only on GMA this morning.
No more likes? The big change coming to Instagram, how it could affect everyone from Selena to Beyonce, even your teens, and make Instagram feel more equal.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
And Cecilia and I like saying good morning to Dan Harris.
Good morning, everybody. Happy to be here.
Double heart that one.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Now my self-esteem is up.
Wasn't it wonderful seeing Alex Trebek walk through our studio just moments ago? We are excited to have him here and really looking forward to speaking with him.
Can't wait for that. We do have a lot of news to get to this morning, and we begin with the search for answers after that deadly shooting on a college campus. A 22-year-old gunman opening fire in a classroom, killing 2 people, injuring 4 more at the University of North Carolina in Charlotte.
The chancellor's there saying it's the worst day in the school's history. Police say the shooter is now in custody. Steve Osinsami is on campus, starting us off with the very latest. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, Robin. This was a terrifying moment for students and teachers who were running for cover and worried that this wasn't just the last day of classes, but the last day of their lives.
Gunfire, panic, and 2 people dead. This is what became of the final day of the semester at the University of North Carolina in Charlotte.
We have multiple vacancies here. We're going to need multiple ambulances.
Kennedy Hall, in the heart of the campus, is now a crime scene.
Around 4:40 p.m., our dispatch received a call that a suspect was armed with a pistol and had shot several students.
The accused gunman, who students say had dropped out of school, was back in a classroom opening fire as students were giving their final presentations of the semester.
We had 2 fatalities. We have 3 that are in critical condition and 1 that is not.
Tristan Field was there and got out alive.
I heard some terrible screams I don't want to hear again.
Students across campus got the frightening alerts on their phones, telling them to run, hide, fight, secure yourself immediately. Police came quickly and say they were able to get the gun away from the alleged gunman before he could reload.
He never had time to even get out of the room.
Police say the suspect is 22-year-old Tristan Andrew Terrell, someone with no history with police at all.
Can you tell us what happened?
Investigators aren't sharing a motive at this point. He's facing multiple charges, including 2 counts of murder and 4 counts of attempted murder.
The student newspaper here is confirming that one of their sports writers, this young man, was shot in the gunfire and is out of surgery this morning. This accused gunman will appear in court tomorrow. Finals that were scheduled today are now being moved to Sunday. Guys.
Another active shooter in America. Steve Osinsami, thank you. We're going to move on now to the tornado outbreak. At least 25 reported twisters barreling across the country. Take a look at this incredible drone video of one of those tornadoes in Oklahoma. And now that severe weather is on the move, ABC's Clayton Sandell is in Tulsa with the very latest. Clayton, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Dan. Those 25 tornadoes striking 5 different states, and now that slow-moving storm is dropping massive amounts of rain. The new concern this morning, rising floodwaters.
Big tornado coming down!
Severe storms and tornadoes ripping across America's heartland. In Texas, this monster tornado was just one of many. debris flying in all directions.
It's going to cross right in front of us.
And in Oklahoma, a combination of twisters and pounding rain creating treacherous driving conditions. Many now forced to start over, like in Wheaton, Missouri. Homes and other structures knocked down to the studs. Even this tractor trailer flipped over and unrecognizable. Down power lines on the side of the road exploding after the tornado tore through this section of town. Debbie Allen described the moments of chaos when she took cover and her husband couldn't get to her.
I called my daughter and told her that I loved her, and then everything went silent, and then it was just like a crashing noise.
This man witnessing the twister as he hid inside his church in Arkansas. And students on lockdown in Bergman as this dark twister moved through their school. The aftermath, a similar sight of abysmal destruction. Flooding also a major concern in places like Iowa. The Mississippi River expected to crest over 22 feet today, creeping into downtown Davenport when a levee breached. Officials telling ABC News they rescued 25 people in cars and in homes and businesses surrounded by water.
And another round of severe weather is on tap for today. Rain, hail, and more possible tornadoes. Dan.
Clayton, thank you. Let's get it over to Ginger now for the latest on where this weather is heading next. Ginger, good morning.
Good morning, Dan. You know, I do think that we could see tornadoes again today, so I thought we'd bring back one of the videos you may have seen. See the circulation at the ground there? It doesn't look like it's connected to the top, but it is. You don't have to have condensation all the way down. You see the condensation funnel. That is the same tornado just moments earlier. They can shift form as they move. When I was a storm chaser, I would see that all the time, and something to watch today. So just because it looks like it's weakening doesn't mean it necessarily is. From Illinois and Indiana down to Texas, we have flash flood alerts. That comes along with this slow-moving stationary front. But this area, highlighted in orange, Dallas, Waco, I-35 up to Oklahoma City, back to Abilene, all has a shot at not just tornadoes, but damaging wind and hail today. Cecilia.
Going to be a very busy day. Okay, Ginger, thank you. We are now going to turn to that high-stakes hearing on Capitol Hill. Take a live look at the room where Attorney General William Barr will soon be grilled on the Russia report. But just ahead of this showdown, a new bombshell this morning. We are now learning that Special Counsel Robert Mueller raised serious objections about how Barr first characterized the Mueller report, essentially as a win for President Trump. Our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas joins us from Washington with more. And Pierre, this complaint from Mueller came in a letter to Barr. What are your sources telling you about it?
Cecilia, good morning. That's right. Overnight, more details about tension between the special counsel and the attorney general concerning how Barr initially described Mueller's investigation.
In the letter dated March 27th, Special Counsel Robert Mueller complains about how the Attorney General first summarized the results of the Russia probe, writing, "The summary did not fully capture the context, nature, and substance of this office's work and conclusions." Democrats, too, have complained that Barr's initial assessment of Mueller's more than 400-page report lacked detail, and they say it allowed the president to claim exoneration.
Complete exoneration. No collusion, no obstruction.
Even though Mueller found a number of episodes of potential obstruction of justice. Justice Department officials acknowledged Barr was surprised by the tone of Mueller's letter and that he called the special counsel shortly after reading it. They say while the two men had a difference of opinion, their conversation remained civil. Overnight, in a statement, the Justice Department acknowledged that while the special counsel expressed frustration over the lack of context and the resulting media coverage regarding the special counsel's obstruction analysis, in the call he told Barr that he did not believe Barr had been, quote, inaccurate or misleading.
Justice officials say Mueller wanted additional summaries of the report released immediately, but that Barr did not want more disclosures to the public to be, quote, piecemeal. Barr and Mueller ultimately agreed to get the full report out with redactions as quickly as possible, Cecilia.
Okay, Pierre, thank you. And this is going to be a heated showdown today, in part because of this new revelation about these complaints by Mueller seem to flatly contradict what Barr told Congress last month when he was specifically asked about Mueller's team raising these objections. Take a listen.
Reports have emerged recently, General, that members of the special counsel's team are frustrated at some level with the limited information included in your March 24th letter, that it does not adequately or accurately necessarily portray the report's findings. Do you know what they're referencing with that?
No, I don't. I suspect that they probably wanted, more put out.
Okay, let's bring in our senior congressional correspondent, Mary Bruce, right there in the Senate hearing room. Mary, Barr is no doubt going to face some serious questions about this today.
Cecilia, this is likely to be explosive. Democrats have accused Bill Barr of being the president's protector, and now they are going to have a lot of fresh questions about his interactions with Mueller and whether Barr misled Congress during his previous testimony. Barr is going to be grilled here today about his handling of this report. Now, on the other side of the aisle, look for Republicans to come to Barr's defense. The chairman, Republican Lindsey Graham, is a close ally of the president's, and he's likely to focus instead on the investigation of the Russia investigation. Now, this is supposed to be the first of 2 days of hearings here, but Barr's appearance tomorrow before the House Judiciary Committee is still up in the air. That chairman, Democrat Gerald Nadler, is moving ahead with plans to allow staff attorneys to also question Barr in addition to the committee members. The Attorney General says if that's the case, he's not going to show up. But Chairman Nadler says the format is simply not up for negotiation.
Yeah, potentially 2 days of a showdown we're looking at here, Mary. But now in the meantime, these calls for Robert Mueller himself to appear on Capitol Hill seem to be growing louder by the day.
Yes, the Democrats say all of these fresh questions simply underscore the need for them to hear directly from Mueller himself. They say that Barr's impartiality is now being called into question, and they want to hear directly from Mueller before Congress, testifying here as soon as possible.
Okay, Mary, thanks. Going to be a busy day for those guys in Washington today.
Another one.
Yep.
Another one. Thank you, Cecilia. Now to the growing chaos in Venezuela. Both the opposition leader and President Maduro are calling for supporters to protest again today. Now, this after these violent clashes on Tuesday. Our Chief National Affairs correspondent, Tom Llamas, who has reported from Venezuela, is here with more on all this. Good morning, Tom.
Robin, good morning to you. Both men, Juan Guaido and Nicolas Maduro, took to the airwaves overnight, calling for simultaneous protest in the streets. Guaido has called this latest insurgency attempt Operation Freedom, but any hope that he could topple Maduro quickly seems to be fading.
This morning, mass demonstrations planned following a violent and bloody day on the streets of Caracas. Protesters fed up with President Nicolas Maduro fighting back with rocks, sticks, and Molotov cocktails. An armored military vehicle plowing into and then over civilian demonstrators. The pro-Maduro military and opposition forces battling all day. Gunfire, tear gas, and firebombs exploding in the heart of Venezuela.
Es el momento. El momento es ahora.
It all began with this 3-minute video posted by interim President Juan Guaido, surrounded by members of the military, some defecting, taking up arms against the government. Those blue bands, a sign they're with the opposition. Maduro calling it a coup, security forces sweeping in, facing off with protesters, as government officials announced Guaido had failed. In Washington, the president tweeting his support for the people of Venezuela. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo claiming Maduro nearly left the country.
He had an airplane on the tarmac. He was ready to leave this morning, as we understand it, and the Russians indicated he should stay.
But overnight, Maduro appearing on state-run TV, dismissing Pompeo's claims as not serious and calling the Trump administration crazy. Maduro appears to still have the support of the military and has survived other uprisings when U.S. officials predicted his downfall. Recently telling me this.
Your American critics say you have run out of moves. Checkmate. Are they right?
Maduro saying that sounds like a broken record, that the revolution still has support.
Now, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is sticking by his story that Maduro was ready to flee, but both Maduro and the Russians are denying it. We are expecting today to be another active and possibly very violent day, Robin.
And you were there as recently as a month ago?
I was there a month ago, and the surprising thing that even though it is an oppressive regime, everyone from children to the elderly to teenagers, students will speak out saying they do want change. But when Maduro controls all of the military, it is nearly impossible.
Yeah, you're right about that. All right, Tom, thank you.
Tom Llamas, thank you very much. We're going to move on now to a story here at home involving an investigation into a highway shooting death in Iowa. A young woman on her way home from work shot. The gunman is still on the loose this morning, and ABC's Lindsay Davis is here. Lindsay, police are looking into whether this was an accident or intentional.
That's right, Dan. Police say that they're looking into the possibility that this lone bullet may have been fired by someone who was illegally hunting. But last night we talked to the victim's father, and he told us that given the area, he felt that that was highly unlikely. He also said that his daughter did not have any enemies.
This morning, a desperate search for the person who shot and killed 25-year-old Michaela Redinger.
Michaela was a very giving person. She had a huge heart. She really never met anybody she didn't like.
Redinger was driving home with 2 others from her job at a bar near Waterloo, Iowa, 2:30 a.m. Sunday, when that fatal bullet tore through the window of her Jeep, ending her life.
We have a female who was struck by something that came through the windshield.
Redinger managed to pull the car over, but died at the scene.
They weren't out doing anything illegal or unusual. They're simply coming home from work. At this point, we're not aware of any vehicles on the road, but if someone was out there and saw something, we would encourage them to call us.
Her boyfriend, Adam Kimball, was also in the car.
They're requesting a second ambulance. There's also a male on scene who has some superficial facial injuries.
The 32-year-old was struck in the face by the same bullet, but survived.
I just pray that the person that did this, I hope it was an accident. If it wasn't an accident, I hope they don't do it to anybody else.
Officials are now turning to the public for any video or surveillance images from that area.
We're pursuing all investigatory avenues, whether it started on the roadway, whether it was off the road, whether it was further down the riverbed there. It's not legal to hunt at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Redinger was a star softball player at the University of Northern Iowa. Overnight, the school remembering their friend who had dreamed of becoming a dentist.
And there was also a third passenger in the car who was not injured. Police say there is nothing to indicate that the victims were involved in any activity that would have caused them to be targeted. Police are asking for help from anyone who may have seen something suspicious. Guys.
All right, Lindsay, thank you. We are now going to turn to major changes coming to Facebook and Instagram. One of the proposals to hide the number of likes you get on an Instagram photo or video from the public. TJ Holmes is here with this, and
speaking of major changes,
liking. You would get some hearts from us on the haircut.
What's major change? I just had him take a little off the sides. No big deal. Look, both of you all reacted. We can't see how many likes. This would be a huge change to Instagram. This is what they're experimenting with. You wouldn't be able to see how many likes somebody else's post gets. Now, why is that a big deal? It's a big deal because Instagram has turned into a lot of ways a popularity contest. If Dan posts something and I see his gets 3,000 likes, mine only got 250, maybe I'll take mine down. Maybe that caused me a self-esteem issue. Many experts have said kids have self-esteem and mental health issues because of this popularity contest. They're trying to take that part away from Instagram, so they're experimenting with it right now. But this is a huge change for them.
Yeah, and Dan gets a lot of likes because he posts cat pictures. And
yes, but there's a real correlation between depression and anxiety and social media use.
They've been trying to address this for a long, long time. Focus on the content, what it's supposed to be about, community. Focus on what a beautiful picture somebody posts instead of just looking to see how many likes that person gets. Now, you as a user, you'll still be able to see yourself how many they get, but you don't have to worry about, ooh, somebody else is seeing mine only got so many likes. So people take their posts down sometimes because of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. Because of the number of likes. So huge change. Huge change.
Thank you, sir.
Liking the new do.
Yes. Thank you.
We're following a lot of stories this morning. Beloved Jeopardy host Alex Trebek is here live. It's going to be his first interview since revealing his battle with cancer. The latest on his health, and that Jeopardy champ on a major winning streak. Talk to him about that as well. But let's get back down to Ginger.
And so excited for all of that, but also to show you that severe weather also has flash flooding possible. I needed to see this Oklahoma City. They've got that red dirt, and that's what flooding looks like in Oklahoma City, covering roads there. And that's supposed to be a road as well. So in Silver Lake, Oklahoma, there's a large region from Texas to Indiana that has that possibility today. The bullseyes kind of head right toward Dallas and Austin. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, though, the rainy cities, sponsored by Walgreens.
Right now, when you buy a Red Nose at Walgreens, you can help a child live a healthier life. Walgreens, trusted since 1901.
Hey, happy first day of May. On this first day of May, our temperatures will vary across the area from 70 degrees north and west of D.C. to 80, maybe even a little higher south and west. Chance of an afternoon thunderstorm again today between 6 and 9 p.m. We'll have a higher chance coming your way for the rest of this work week. Thursday, it's 3 to 11, and then on Friday, noon till 8 p.m. And some of those storms may be a little stronger in the latter part of the work week. Tomorrow, maybe close to 90, and more storms this weekend with highs in the 70s.
Discussing what we've been talking about in the first half hour. Hope you're doing the same. We'll be right back.
Introducing Miracle-Gro's next big thing, Performance Organics. Finally, organics that work. Tested and refined by plant scientists for twice the results. Guaranteed. Don't grow a snack, grow a feast. Don't grow a flower, grow $1 million view.